I am off to Ireland, and in this episode, I'm sharing a few highlights as well as what you can expect to hear while I'm there. So just after Easter, I am heading to Ireland and super excited to be going back. Always excited to be going back. And this trip, I will be there for 5 weeks. So it is a longer trip. But during that time, I'm going to be hosting 2 of my group tours. So that kind of accounts for the extended period of being away. On this trip, I am flying into Shannon, which I prefer. But the limited routes to and from Shannon, especially in the slower off seasons, so in the months in between September, mid to late May, it can be really difficult to get good flights into Shannon. And for this trip, I am actually flying through London. Now, I never recommend flying through London. In fact, I don't recommend using a layover airport outside of your own country. So if you're in Canada or the US, I recommend if you have to have a layover, having it in your own country as opposed to in Europe, because it's just a smoother experience to land directly in Ireland. But this time I am going through London. It has been years and years since I have done that. And so I guess I'm going to be learning firsthand if it is still as tedious and as awful as I remember. But I'm really excited to be flying into Shannon. It puts me right at the perfect starting point for the things that I want to do when I arrive. Now, as I said, I am going to be hosting 2 tours while I'm in Ireland. The first one is a giant adventure, and that is a tour through the northern part of the country. So we are going up into Northern Ireland along the Causeway Coast onto the Inis Mór Peninsula and County Donegal, and then coming back through the Boyne Valley with a stay at Cabra Castle. My second tour is the Craft, Culture, and Crack. This is a ladies-only tour, and we're going to have a lot of hands-on activities. This is actually taking place for the most part in the southeast. However, we are going to swing over to Adair for a really fun falconry experience, as well as visiting the donkey sanctuary in Cork, northwest Cork, before we head over and down. And on that tour, we're making clatter rings, and we're doing a couple of food tours. We are going out to see some puffins, and like I said, we're doing a hawk walk and visiting a donkey sanctuary. So we have to wrap up with sheep. So animals, sheep, light adventure. Really, really looking forward to this tour. On either side of those tours, I'm going to be revisiting a few spots that I haven't been to in a while. The first is Bunratty Castle and Folk Park. The last time I was there was 2019 when I took my family for the medieval banquet. But to visit the Folk Park and actually spend time walking around, it's probably been 7 years since I did that with my girls. So I'm excited to go back, wander around Bunratty on my own, which I haven't done since my very first visit to Ireland 24 years ago. So it's been a long stretch of time since I've wandered Bunratty on my own. So I'm actually really looking forward to taking the time and not having to worry about anybody else and what they want to do while we're there. And then I am catching up with Ollie Gleason of Ollie's Tours about the work going on at the Cliffs of Moher with the Cliff Walk trails. If you have been looking and doing your research, those trails have been actually closed for a little over a year now as works are going on to make them safer. So I'm going to catch up with Ollie about that, and we'll probably have a live from Ireland episode to talk about what's going on and what people can expect in the coming year. I will also be checking out some new to me accommodations, including Barnahown in County Cork, which sits at the base of the Galtee Mountains. It's a B&B. I am going to Killiane Castle Country House and Farm in Wexford. So this is a spot I've not been before. I do love Wexford. I think it's for visitors coming from overseas, this is an area of Ireland that doesn't get explored very often. So super excited to check that out. I will be staying at the Grace, which has just opened on the Westport Estate in Mayo. And yeah, I'm there for 3 days. They kindly invited me for a night, and I just added a couple more on to really experience and enjoy the time there. So, and then I'm going glamping on Inis Mór, which is the largest of the Aran Islands. So I'll be taking the ferry actually out of Connemara, not Galway City. Ferry out of Connemara, spending 2 nights in a glamping pod on Inis Mór on the beach. So that's like the wrap up of my trip. So I am praying for great weather for that because I'm not good on boats when the weather's too bumpy. So cross your fingers for me on that one. And but that should be a lot of fun. And I'll be probably renting a bike and taking my time to dig into Inis Mór. I've also got some really fun new experiences that I am going to be trying, including chocolate making on the Causeway Coast. As I mentioned before, puffin sightings on the Saltees, and a day trip to Clare Island off the coast of Mayo. So lots of fun to be had over the 5 weeks that I'm in Ireland. Now, as I've done in past visits, you're going to hear some live from Ireland podcast episodes that are interspersed with scheduled episodes while I am there. I also hope to have some longer videos to share on YouTube. This is something that I don't do remotely, right? If you have been on my YouTube channel, you know that it's usually me sitting in my recording room and sharing information that you can use. I don't do the live vlog video thing. It's not something that I'm overly comfortable with. I just have never been interested, but I'm going to give it a try and we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes of it, but hopefully there will be a few videos that I can drop in there. And like past trips, I do plan to share updates via my Facebook and Instagram accounts. So if you are on those or if you want to follow me, you will find those at Ireland Family Vacations on both Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to have you join me if you are on those socials. I also have my weekly email where every week I kind of do a wrap up. I tell you what's going on in Ireland, or we maybe talk about culture and seasonal type things. But my weekly email is also likely to have some stories. So if you aren't subscribed, I would love to have you join me there. You can just visit IrelandFamilyVacations.com/first visit, all one word, first visit. Drop your email there. You're going to get some handy tips for your first trip to Ireland. And then you will also get my weekly email that comes out on Fridays, and you'll get all the updates during my trip. Once I return home in mid-May, I'm going to be very busy getting everything added to the Ireland Travel Compass. If you haven't heard of that, that is my self-guided Ireland vacation planning tool that helps you build your own trip based on your interests, your time, your transportation, your budget, takes all of those into account and helps you to create a trip that is unique to you. Right now, there are over 300 attractions, accommodations, tours, and planning extensions within that full compass, which includes basically it's a step-by-step guide to planning your trip and then a map with all of these places on it. So I'm excited to add more information to that after I return from this trip. And if you want more information there, you can check out the Ireland Travel Compass at IrelandFamilyVacations.com/compass. I hope that you will virtually join me on this trip. And as always, questions are encouraged. You can always email me at Jody Jody, at IrelandFamilyVacations.com. I will talk to you soon, live from Ireland. And until next time, slán go fóill.